Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guide 365, and today I'm going to review the 4K edition of Harrison Ford in The Call of the Wild. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I'll put out videos every single day. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guide 365, as well as over at the Disney Magic Hour podcast. I'll put a link for that in the description. All right, The Call of the Wild is here on 4K, and we're going to talk about all that picture quality and the audio in just a few moments. But first, I want to quickly talk about the movie. I saw it in theaters, and I really enjoyed it. I remember reading the book when I was younger, and I don't remember too much from it, but I did recognize some of the elements that were carried over. I think it was a good telling of the story. It also kind of reminds a lot of people of the Disney Plus movie Togo, which I could see the comparisons, and there's definitely some kind of similarities there. But I think as it exists on its own, this one is actually pretty good, and I think it looked really well done. CGI I didn't feel was too distracting. Even they CGI'd all the animal actors, so they kind of had a nice little life to them that I really appreciated, and I think it just looked really good on screen, and Harrison Ford did a great job. And just the overall story I felt was good. A little hard to watch in a couple scenes, being an animal lover that I am. I think that it's a very good story. I think you would enjoy it. I think if you haven't had a chance, definitely check it out. I would highly recommend it. So, all right, with that being said, now let's talk about the picture quality and the audio, but first let's do a quick unboxing. Okay, we have The Call of the Wild here, 4K. No slipcover was provided for this release. This isn't one where it was just shortchanged. There's no slipcover for Call of the Wild in 4K, so just be aware of that if you're picking this up, and there's no other exclusives, steelbooks, or anything. So if you want the movie on the physical format, this is what you're going to get here. So there we have the back cover and the spine, and then interior. A little bit of artwork on the 4K disc, always nice. So that's it. So now let's talk about the picture quality and the audio. The Call of the Wild is a beautiful looking 4K disc. It was just honestly one of my favorites in recent memory to actually review. It just looks really fantastic. It's a native 4K image sourced from 4K DI, and it is a beautiful HDR grading as well. I think everything just stands out here. Color levels in particular are nice and natural. They're not going to be a vivid pop, but what we get here, it looks really nice. It does. There's a particular scene where it's just nighttime and the northern lights are showing. It has like a green hue to it. It makes the image just really just look very alive and very natural, and just it is a beautiful looking picture in as far as color levels go. Black nighttime levels in particular are also very nice. They're rendered just nice and deep in inky blacks, and they contrast any kind of light fairly well, and there's a nice balance there. Detail is phenomenal also. It just shows off even the CGI elements, which sometimes can be a little soft in other movies, or have nice natural detail. The fur on the animals in particular are rendered very nicely here. The general landscaping area, with like mountains and the forest, they all have a nice little texture to them. Skin textures, from the few human characters are also nice, and they just look fantastic. Harrison Ford looks as old and grizzly as ever here, and it's just it's a really good looking image, and I just can't stress enough the clarity, how beautiful the overall picture looks here on The Call of the Wild in 4K. It's a breathtaking overall picture, and I think you're going to be very impressed. Also equally impressive is going to be the audio mix, which is a Dolby Atmos, and this thing has some bass to it, and it has some nice meaty weight to it, and it's a really good overall immersive audio mix. It sounds great. Everything from, there's a scene involving an avalanche that just rumbles the living room area, and it just sounds fantastic, and it just fills you up all over your soundstage, and I think you're going to be very pleased with those kind of scenes. Even the quieter moments have some weight to them. Dialogue comes through clean and clear, easy to understand. The front levels sound fantastic. The mid levels and rears, heavy use of ambient and activity of like some action scenes. They sound fantastic. And your height speakers are also being utilized, and they're used quite a bit throughout the film. So even going back to the avalanche scene in particular, you feel like you're being buried, and it does seem like that. And just those little moments, you know, from that scene and from other scenes when they're underwater, when the dog's underwater rescuing one of the characters, it also fills the room. It's a really nice overall use of the height speakers. I'm very impressed with the Call of the Wild. I think the 4K edition is fantastic. It's pretty near reference quality. It's beautiful to look at. It's got an awesome soundstage, and I think you're going to be very pleased with the results. So my overall score, I'm going to go ahead and give the picture quality of this a solid A. It makes great use of HDR. It's very the nature settings alone look beautiful. They look just pristine, and I think it's an overall good looking picture. The audio mix, I'm going to go ahead and give that one a solid A as well. It's super strong. It's weighty. It's got a lot of heft to it, and it's a very immersive and overall wonderful soundstage. I think you're going to be very pleased with the results. So that is my review of the Call of the Wild on 4K. Let me know in the comments below if you picked it up and what your thoughts were of the movie. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I'll put out videos every single day. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.